Lord of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
Like this.
Dun, 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 dun. It's me, it's that D-O-double-G. It's your boy, aka.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, it's your boy AR-15, AR-47, whatever you want to say. It's your boy AR Andrew, because we don't use the other initial because you get jabbed in the throat. And it's your boy with his
Nikki
nigga.
C.
Yeah, Nikki Swag over here. We out here. We out here talking hella shit tonight. Because tonight we aren't on one topic, we're on multiple topics.
Yeah, because that's how we're gonna start doing podcasts
Yes.
probably until we figure out some shit. And I hate the people who took my idea, but we'll get that.
Because
on
we're
another
gonna
one.
talk hella shit. Because I have a conversation about a girl that believes apologies are selfish. And
Oh, that's interesting,
Yep.
but good that he bring that up. We're gonna get into a lot of shit. First, we'll get into the quote unquote pop culture. I think we should change it to nerd culture, but maybe
it's
not.
nerd, pop culture, semi-culture within the aspect of what you believe is relevant for you.
For the time.
Yes.
But we're gonna do certain things that are quick, and then we'll get on our rants that we talk about with certain subjects.
Multiple.
For the Star Wars fans, we're gonna do that shit on Friday with the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
gonna catch up on all the episodes.
Friday's episode, we're going to hit all 5. Let's put it that be
It's gonna
easier.
be 4, right?
All right,
it's at 3
technically
now,
all
yeah.
4 because we did. Yes, we did
Yeah.
do the first one.
Yeah.
So
So
it'll be all 4, which I'm semi-ish on one. The next one, I'm not sure,
yeah,
but we'll get there.
we'll get there. And but we'll talk about the shit that came out this week. What was the Snake Eyes trailer, the Sweet Tooth trailer.
Sweet
Uh,
Tooth Spiral.
We're gonna talk about Joe Budden and his shit.
Yes,
We're gonna talk about wrestling a little bit. And then apparently a woman that thinks that apologizing is selfish. But to get into it, the 2 quickest things
Listen,
we're gonna get into
the
are
beginning
the
shit
trailers.
is what it's the beginning.
Yeah.
That last one,
So
when we get there, we're gonna get there.
so I'll start off with Snake Eyes since it was more of like a teaser. What was your thoughts about it?
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you didn't connect it to G.I. Joe,
Well, Snake Eyes is G.I. Joe.
I mean, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
if you didn't connect it to a title of expectation,
Expectation, yeah.
yes.
Well,
if you
if it-
didn't connect it to that,
Yeah.
and you watch it, you were like, "Oh, this looks like a decent movie or a decent watch."
Yeah.
Just watch.
Yeah. So
But besides that,
yeah. I thought the same thing. It was a basic trailer because it was a teaser. I'm hoping that they do cut his throat, so it's like Snake Eyes that don't talk. I don't want him to be talking if they're gonna make a new franchise. But besides that, I was just like, yeah, I guess cool little fight scenes in it. So it looks kind of action packed, which is good.
you know
for a
what?
Snake Eyes movie. I just wish they used the guy, the
Mm.
original Snake Eyes from the other movies, because he played Darth Maul and he
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
does martial arts. But
you never know because they're gonna throw the mask on him regardless.
yeah, you never know. Fuck it.
The thing is about the Snake Eye shit is like it's G.I. Joe, and this is the thing with G.I. Joe does have a major character issue.
Duke?
They have
issue.
where it's a major character, but not a major character. Like at a point in time, Sergeant Slaughter for the wrestling fans was a major character for G.I. Joe.
Yeah, no, they had so many characters that
Yeah.
everybody liked a certain character. But I'm pretty sure back in the old days, because I haven't watched them thoroughly, like the old episodes, like all the seasons or whatever. But I'm pretty sure what the main character is Duke or some shit.
Yeah, some shit like that.
And then he's like the all-American guy.
Yeah.
And
Like-
then you have the other ones.
And
like,
that's the issue with G.I. Joe. It's not they don't have a Captain America. They don't have
they don't have
a
Yeah.
symbol of something. They just there are people who are like army people that fight just Cobra fucking
yeah.
crew.
The-
I almost said Cobra Kai, I just want to say.
Yeah.
But,
Cobra Kai, yeah.
They almost fought this Cobra crew and they fighting them and they have, the snake nigga and he sounds like snake, he's like sass and all that shit. That was horrible snake impersonation.
Wasn't it the same voice that did Skeletor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got all that. So I love G.I. Joe and I love 80s shit that I grew up watching because I have an older brother. But the thing is that we gotta let it go because you're fucking killing the concept.
Yeah.
They were so basic back then that you need to realize that you can't make a story off their basic concepts.
Yeah, because it was 80s shit.
Yeah. It's like Transformers. Transformers was great only because of one movie. The movie that Optimus Prime died in, which is the second season of Transformers.
Yeah, the show. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the greatest fucking thing about Transformers. The rest of
That's
it was
true.
just fucking Transformers. It was just Beast Wars and shit like that. Honestly, was better. And
Yeah.
I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to watch it.
Yeah, that was hard. And I tried to rewatch the Beast Wars shit. It's kind of hard to like. You got to get really force yourself to get past the first season to get to the second one. But after the second one, it was good. But Beast Wars is awesome.
But that's one of the shit. Like, we don't have shit like that. Like, right now, we latch onto, let's say, we have Pikachu and Sonic. Those are little 90s things that are like close to like perfection of nostalgia
Yeah,
that we latch onto, hoping to have something greater
some
later.
franchise. Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope Sonic 2 is great. Sonic 2 is gonna come out. It might have Knuckles. I hope it's great.
Mhm.
But we latch onto those shits.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and this is just tangent conversation. Since we're in the video game world and these aspects of worlds, I was thinking one day just by myself, randomly, why haven't they thought of doing a Streets of Rage movie where Streets of Rage or redoing Double Dragons would be a lot more easier.
Yeah.
A
'Cause,
lot
like-
more easier and a lot more basic concept.
Especially Double Dragons, because all you need is two main characters and you need good action. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, it's really not hard to do good action. So I don't understand why they don't do shit like that either.
It's because they always want to overthink the shit. It's them wanting to do, we got to do a Resident Evil anime-ish type thing or CGI. I don't know what the fuck you would call it, like computer animated graphics, more or less, for one movie or show. And then they're going to do another movie / show of like the live action, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm not like
100%.
yeah, I'm not 100%. But that was one of the things, and I think I showed you the trailer of the Resident Evil
Yeah.
that they did, and I thought it was cool. But going through the last week and that just happened and everything, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, I'm about Resident Evil 8. It's gonna be lit. I played 7, but I didn't beat 7, but I played it. So I'm thinking it's gonna be whatever because it's a first person bullshit game.
Mhm.
Now they're telling me it's story. It's one of those weird things where a storyline for a lot of shit is just a connection. So we have now, we talked Cobra Kai, we talked Resident Evil, we talked mad random shit. I'm kind of drunk and high. Talk all this shit.
So you want to move on to Sweet Tooth?
No, and that's where we're gonna get to another
Okay.
Sweet Tooth. We have all these movies with fucking storylines, and I don't think any of them are fucking accurate. Because he's about to break down Sweet Tooth saying
Yeah.
it's not accurate.
Yeah. I've already
Yes.
from the trailer, I could tell. And I was going to ask you about the Jupiter's Legacy if you watched it.
I wanted to watch it, but before we got to
Yeah.
today's episode, I didn't get a chance to watch
Okay.
it.
So we'll talk about Jupiter's Legacy probably Friday,
How
whatever.
many episodes is it?
Probably like 8.
Oh, I can watch that
Yeah.
in a day. Yeah.
But again, that was a thing. I just ordered all the comic books, so I'm gonna read past all through that. But I heard it was very different, and how they did the show for Jupiter's Legacy was like so slow. Like, why did they do it that way? Because they made it non-interesting, while the comic book was so interesting.
So wait.
We're talking about Jupiter's Legacy real quick.
No.
But
I get what you're talking about, Jupiter's Legacy.
yeah,
So you're telling me that the Netflix show gets boring
Yes,
compared to what the comic book
the comic book
was.
should be, because I didn't read it all. Like
Mm.
I read a few. What I like to do is read a few issues to see if I'm going to be interested, because a lot of people could be like, "Oh, this story is great," and then it fucking sucks.
All right.
So I read a few, and then I just ordered it, so I didn't read the whole series. But when I was listening to someone else talk about it,
Mhm.
they were saying how like the whole story, like there's supposed to be like a major fight scene that they didn't show, but that was like the climax of the first arc that they could have done in the first season that would have people coming back. Where this one, it was like how they told the story, because every episodes like this is not like any spoilers.
Yeah.
They'll talk about the past of how these people got their powers,
All
or
right.
actually they'll show the present, and then they'll show the past of how these people got the powers. But it's like step by step. So every episode, you're like, all right, this is the Jupiter guy, right? The main guy, like I forgot what his name
The
is.
dude with the white suit.
Yeah, the guy with the
Yeah.
white suit. So this is him. He's a superhero. He's like Superman, I guess, of this universe. And then you see him as a regular human. So every episode is him gradually getting to that part. So when you get to the last episode, you kind of see how he got his powers, but then it goes, back to present time of what's going on now. So it's kind of like, from what I hear, how they broke it down isn't as interesting as the comic book reads.
Mm.
But they're saying like hopefully there's something in the next season.
Yeah.
So that's why no one's really talking about that.
I get
show.
you, but that's the whole thing. Like, because I previously told you the story of watching the Sweet Tooth shit.
Okay,
That I
yeah.
watched it with
We'll go
a
back-
coworker.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is 100% accurate. Like, I'm sitting there and I tell her, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "No, it's based off a comic book."
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm acknowledging like that I know everything about the comic. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that I know it's based off a comic. Oh, that's cool. All right, cool. Like, you're into that. You
Mhm.
want to watch it? I bet. You pulled it up on your YouTube on the computer. You watch it, and she's like, "Oh shit," and I could tell like it went from being like, "Oh shit," like, "Oh shit," like, "Oh, it's interesting," so, "Oh shit," like, this is different.
Mhm.
Because people don't open their mind to those things. And she goes like, "It's a con." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, Walking Dead?" And she's like, "Yeah."
That's
I was
comic
like,
too.
"It's
Yeah.
a comic book too." And she was like, "No, I know it was a book." And I was like, "No, but it's a comic book
Yeah.
with a
It-
lot of detail to it that goes into shit." And I was
Yeah.
like, that's the difference within these aspects of these shows, where I was like, I never read Sweet Tooth. But
Mhm.
if I assume off the top of the head, if I decided this weekend to go to the comic book shop and go buy whatever the omnibus or whatever I could get of
Mhm.
a whole Sweet Tooth thing to read it before the show came out, I know in my heart that it is a completely different story graphic wise.
Yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
not like, that's what I'm
Mm.
getting into more so now. It's not superhero-y, like men in tights kind of shit.
Yeah.
So this one is all right. So we'll talk about the Sweet Tooth shit, right? So anyway, if you
Sweet
guys watch the
Tooth.
trailer, I don't think the trailer is bad.
No, the trailer was cool as fuck. I
Yeah.
fucked with the trailer. I enjoyed it because, like I said, like I watched it with somebody else. So to see her interacting, it was like, oh shit, like wait, what, they're animal humans and
Yeah.
and all of that. And I was like, yeah, and I was just like, that's what I wanted. Because like me as just a normal person, like that's normal to me.
Mhm.
Like to see a mutant,
Yeah.
like I'm not going to be like, oh my god, they're mixed with something. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, all right, they're mixed. So where do you go from here?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's a thing
you
in
know
the
what I
comic
mean?
books.
Like, yeah.
And that's why I said like
Mm.
the person I listened to that was talking about like that read the books or whatever. I didn't want to get too far. I think I've read the first arc, but I didn't want to go too far in the
Yeah.
sense that I want to know the ending. I don't.
Mhm.
But already from the trailer, I could see like they changed a lot of shit. But I don't know necessarily yet. Obviously, I didn't see the show that if it's changed in a good way or bad way.
Yeah.
But the basic concept of that whole book is a post-apocalyptic, and there is
And that's one of the things
Yeah.
that drew me to it because I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
so the whole concept when you see the mutant babies,
Mhm.
from where I got, there was a virus that killed off a lot of people, but also made these babies mutants. But they don't know if the mutants came first or the babies came or the
Yeah,
virus
yeah,
came first. So
exactly,
they're
yeah.
trying to figure that out. But the character Sweet Tooth, and this was different from the trailer that I know from the book, and it's the first
Mm.
like 2 issues. The father wasn't around like that. Like the father died in a cabin after his mother died. Like
Well, we can't go that far because we haven't watched the first episode yet.
yeah, I know. But from the trailer, he's walking around with his
Okay,
father.
if you want, all right,
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a little difference, and
Mm.
you know the race change and all the stuff, but that's fine. But there's from what I read, it's very dark, and the reason why I was so interested in it, because like art wise, when I first seen it, I was like this is stupid. But when I started reading the first couple of issues, I was like, yo, this fucking crazy. Like this boy, and I'll tell you like the main concept.
Yeah.
That little, he's half deer, half
Alright.
boy, whatever. His mother died years, like I think at birth they told him. His father makes a cabin in the woods and has a gate and says never leave the gate.
Mm.
And so he dies on the bed, just like he just dies, and the kid doesn't know what to do. He's like super innocent. And after his father dies, he leaves the thing, and then he gets like the hunters try to kill him, and then the guy who's the black guy saves him. But you know, I'm not gonna get too into it, but it was just like he starts learning, like, holy shit, like, why do they try to kill me? And then why? Like, what's the point? Like, he doesn't know anything about anything. He just thinks he's a normal boy with horns. Like, he doesn't understand. So he's so innocent throughout the whole story until he starts like learning shit, and then it gets dark for him. And then from what I understand, because I didn't go past the first arc, he grows up, he becomes, I'm pretty sure he becomes a hunter or something like that. It looks like it. But to me, I just love the post-apocalyptic darkness of it. I love the dark story. The character that's the black guy that's in
Yeah.
a hoodie, his character, like his story arc is dark. Like, you know, I don't want to get into it, whatever. But anyway, but the whole the reason why they call him Sweet Tooth is because he's a vegetarian. He doesn't eat meat.
All right.
But they gave him a chocolate bar and he kept eating it. Like, so they call him Sweet Tooth for that reason.
Mm.
But I think the trailer was good. I just thought I already see a lot of difference, but I want to know if it's good or bad difference.
I mean, it looked solid. It was a decent trailer. It had his what'd you say, the dark vibe to it.
Yeah.
To build up to all of that extra shit at the end. But besides that, it's just gonna be that interesting more than honestly, like let's say Invincible.
Okay.
Because it had a different feel to the the whole
Yeah,
shit.
because Invisible is not, is more superhero-y, it's not post-apocalyptic. Like this one has experimentations, it has hookers, it has fucking people dying. Like, is one of those,
Basically.
I would say, in a sense of like Walking Dead, you don't know who's gonna really die. Like,
Yeah.
oh, is the scientist or doctor good, or is it not, or is this guy good that's helping this guy? Like, that's how the story goes from what I read of it so far.
Mhm.
Whereas it's kind of like you don't know. Everyone has a weird intention, but that's a whole post-apocalyptic theme
Yeah.
that I like about it. But shit. So what do you want to get into next? Do you want to go into Joe Budden? Do you want to go into why a girl told you that apologizing is selfish?
No,
or-
that apologizing and selfish shit is mad quick and funny
Okay, go ahead.
because I walked into the mid conversation and I brought it up, and we're gonna bring this back. It's gonna be like an episodic thing because I'm not gonna let it go because I need more answers. So I walked in, I heard her explain something. So basically, she was doing a aggression test
Okay.
with the people that live in the living facility that I work at.
Okay.
So, it's one of those like assessment tests where, oh, are you that aggressive or B or this, da da da, like one of
Yeah.
those type of things. So I walk in, I hear it, and I overhear within the breakdown of the last question is like, oh, I feel like apologies, it's the person saying like, I'm sorry only to make themselves feel better and da da da. And I was just like, wow. I was like in my head. Because I've heard it before, but it's a weird concept. Because legit people like legitly say, I like, oh, I'm sorry, da da da. And that's I would say more of a swallowing pride
Mm-hmm.
than a like, oh, I do it for my ego. Like I've never went to a girl and this is where it's going to. It's within the relations to go to a girl.
I like how you had to pause, like relations.
Because I thought about it and I was like, wait.
I was looking at you, just like, how did you pause? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I thought we all adults here. You know what I mean? I feel like we all adults, so we should all know what's up.
Oh,
So basically, as you threw me off of everything that I was saying.
Yeah, you were in the conversation, whatever. Choose.
Shit, where was I going at?
She was in a room talking to some old people evaluating anger issues apparently, and fucking saying sorry is a bitch move or something.
No, saying sorry is a bitch move as a male. This is the whole shit that happened.
Okay, go ahead. That's fucking hilarious.
That's why, yes, it's hilarious. Because the whole scenario was basically we're talking about, saying sorry as male, girl, guy, shit. I bring up a story that I read. That's the only thing I read.
Is it the five love languages book from there?
Definitely not from there.
I actually finished the book though.
We're gonna get there. But no, it's from something else that I read. And basically, my whole scenario was it wasn't what I read, but it was my reaction. I go to my nigga and I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of girls just feeling like they could just talk hella shit about niggas. I'm about to go
can't wait to start this relationship.
Yeah. I'm gonna go start a fight. So I walked to my coworkers that I fuck with, and I was like, "Yo!" And I realized that I was surrounded by like 5 women, so I pussied out,
bitch.
And I waited, and then we got to it later. So now this is the later part.
Just go ahead. It just sounds mad dumb. Like I bitched out. And
I did. I definitely bitched out because it was just I didn't want a whole bunch of angry vaginas like going after me. So basically, my whole shit is. Long story short, we talk about how on everything on social media for females is destroying a male.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't need a guy. I'm a dominant woman, independent, da da da. Even though your hustle's built off of a nigga, but shit like that. So I told my man, and he goes to me, you know what I heard? A girl, like basically a woman, can't build up a nigga, but a nigga could build up a woman. And I was looked at him and I said, that was the smartest thing you ever said.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's true.
It's called the king-queen scenario.
Yes.
If a king can make a queen and elevate her to a queen, but a queen can never elevate a guy to a king.
Yes.
Because she's dominant.
Yes.
And that's not how women want to be. It goes back to a natural order of things. And this is where I say I want to start a fucking relationship podcast because it does go back to all the shit I was listening to, even though we make fun of it. But it's really,
No, but it's true talk. The thing is about the issue is, and I'll say it straightforward, we will have to get independent women that we can actually have real talk with and not have an emotional attachment to.
not necessarily. No.
Yes, because an emotional attachment is always going to secure, like, to make you not say maybe that one certain thing.
No, but
It's
see, that's
always
on
that shit.
you. See, you can't blame the woman for that if you're not willing to tell the truth because you're scared to. That's fear. So by you saying, "Hey, if I have feelings for a girl, I'm not going to say this so I don't hurt her feelings." That's on you. It's not on the girl.
No, it's not. I'm not
So,
blaming her. I'm
you-
just blaming in general. You don't say the shit.
You don't because what society tells you not to.
Mm.
But fuck that. And this is where I'm saying this is where I want to start this relationship podcast because it really is fuck that. Though I think that what I worked on personally for me
Yeah.
is being honest. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, we make fun of the situation,
Yeah.
all that. But it's like, at least I'm 100% honest. I do say how I feel. And I slip up sometimes. I ain't going to lie. I'm
It's
a fucking
always-
human.
It's great. It's
But-
fucking, I love humanity.
But it's kind of like, if you're not honest, because even a person that we both know that we always talk about, but not the Beast Titan, someone else.
Listen,
But
my
it's kind of
smile
like
makes everything great.
that person's not honest with the people he deals with, right?
But that's
But he
the
deals-
scenario
but-
of life that you choose to
Yes,
deal with.
that's what I'm saying.
And this
So
is
you can't.
one of the reasons why I say, like, and
But well, I'm just going back to what you're saying.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
I'm just going back to what you're saying. It's kind of like you could sit there and all of us, when we all get together as guy friends, and we could shit on each other and we could praise each other or whatever. But the fact of the matter, we all had different lifestyles. We move in different ways. We have all our own different scenarios. So we know how to placate certain things. So I'll say, for my example, am I 100% honest all the time? No, because then you will never get a girl because you got to lie to a girl to a certain point.
Because they enjoy. Yes.
Yes, because they can't deal with truth.
Yes.
But when it comes to my happiness, I'm 100% honest because I am not putting myself again in a position where I'm going to be unhappy with my situation to the point where I'm sitting here and having a knot in my stomach. What is she doing? Or, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like, hurt by a certain situation. But that's not saying that, hey, I can't have a feeling for a girl because it makes me weak.
Nah, it makes you weak.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You can have a feeling. You can have feelings for a girl. You could like a girl. You could love a girl. But if you're not honest with yourself and you're not honest with her, then you're gonna have insecurities to yourself.
Nah. Honestly, yeah, you could be honest. You could do all that.
But
You
most
could do
people aren't.
all of that.
Most people aren't.
You can do all of that. At the end of the day, your weakness is you're settling that. Settling for basic shit makes you weak. And
Settling, yeah.
settling makes you weak.
But settling is what? You're giving up
You give up.
your
That's all that matters.
happiness
You settle,
for
you give up.
theirs. That's what you're settling for.
Yes.
You want to make the girl happy, so you take what you think is happy and what you find happy, and then you like, all right, she doesn't like what I like,
But do
so
you
I'll
realize
like what
that
she
you,
likes.
You go to do what they like more, and that could literally seclude the major like that you like. Like, it's, let's say, like, you could 3% like one thing, and you do
Mhm.
what they let's say they 8%, you 3% of that like.
Okay,
So it makes it the 10 or whatever, maybe more, because I did the
you
math
did
wrong.
11.
I,
That's
definitely
11.
did the math wrong.
All right, so you're
But you
saying
know what I'm
if they
saying,
like
but, like,
something 8% and you like it 2%.
Like that, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I mean? So you do that for
Mhm.
them, but then do you get the same return?
Well, that's the thing. People let that go. Meaning guys as us. We let that
Like,
go
you let
because
that go, that makes
women-
you weak because
yes.
you're doing it for a certain answer. And listen, and I say this, and it's real shit. Like I'm on some fuck Kevin Samuel shit, where I really want to spit real shit. Where it's like, no, yes, we do shit for the pussy.
Yeah.
Let's be fucking real about it. Let's
Yes,
not act like
but
we're
okay.
dominant over everything, and let's be fucking honest.
Oh,
and
yes, but
act like we don't do shit for
see,
pussy.
this is the thing, because I don't know if you listen to actual
Mm.
Kevin Samuels. He understands that every man does something for pussy, but the fact of the matter is, if you're gonna be sitting there constantly doing something for pussy and making yourself miserable for it,
No,
then
but you
you're
shouldn't constantly
you're
do
the
it.
problem.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
So
a fact.
yeah, so that's all he's saying. That's on top of all the shit Kevin
Mhm.
Samuels is going through, whatever. But my thing is this: where we're talking about that shit, where it's just like, yeah, okay, say so this girl likes this thing 8%, you like it too, but you still do it for her. Now she's not reciprocating. Now, say for example, you like
That's when
for
you
I'll say for
realize I'm
myself,
dead.
I'll say for the myself. I like comic books. Most women don't. I'll say probably 90% of women do not like comic books. So for me to be like, hey, you have to like comic books, but I'm not even saying that. Like if I'm in a relationship with a girl, I understand that. So say I hate plays, I hate the fucking opera, all that bullshit. But if she likes it, yeah, I'm gonna take her to go do it for her. But that doesn't make me weak doing it for her. But you know what? I'm not gonna not like comic books or
No,
read my comic books
that
or go
doesn't.
to the
But
comic book
that
store.
doesn't make you weak. No,
That's what I'm
doesn't.
saying. Is it's kind of like, but if you're sitting there and if she doesn't like comic books and she gets mad at you for reading comic books, and then you stop reading comic books because she doesn't want you to, that to me is like, yo, you're fucking weak. But
No,
if I
that's 100% fact though.
yeah, that's all I'm saying. Is just like, yo, no one's not gonna make me not do something I don't like because you don't like it. And I actually told the girl that to her face because she told me because I had a Venom shirt on, and she said that girls don't like that, and I was like, I don't give a fuck what girls like. I like this
It's
shirt.
not supposed to matter
Yeah.
anything. Like, listen, there's multiple shit. Like you brought up that book that I sent you. Listen, I'll go into a one aspect of the book or an aspect in general. Peacocking. Peacocking is whatever you're fucking aiming for.
But that wasn't in the book.
No, I know, but
What book are you reading, nigga?
this is the multiple conversations that I've been having. Apparently, I peacock.
Peacocking is an aspect of getting women, yes.
Yes.
And there's a reason for that. What's a peacock? A peacock is the good. There's two kinds of peacocks. There's the colorful one that's blue and has all the colorful tails. That's the male. What's the female peacock? Gray, boring, dull peacock. The reason why they call it peacocking is the male in almost every aspect of every animal has to show out for the woman.
Mm.
So the birds that sing well, those are male birds. The ones that don't sing well, that are gray and that are ugly looking, those are the women. So the pretty looking, beautiful birds are usually the males that could sing well because they use that to impress and entice the women for procreating.
Basically.
So that's every aspect of everything. So when it comes to peacocking, that's not a bad thing that we do that as human beings. You want to dress well. If you look like a fucking bum, the girl's gonna think you're a bum, of course. So
you get too much attention.
But when does peacocking give you bad attention? If you're dressed well, I'm not saying like
It's never bad attention. It's bad attention if the person doesn't watch you. They got attention. You get what I'm saying?
well, peacocking isn't a forceful thing.
It's not
It's about
forceful,
sight.
but it's you just being you,
Yes.
and you naturally get attention.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Well, peacocking is more about dress and
You-
looks and attire.
But you could get natural attention
Yeah.
by just naturally being you.
Yeah.
And that's all I can really say about it. Like, you dress and it's like, oh, I just like to have what other people don't have, or I do it in a certain aspect. I dress a certain way, so stand out. That's it.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I'm peacocking. I feel like I just do it because I like to be different. Like, I know every nigga wears Jordans, every nigga wears foams, every nigga does it. So I wear these things. I do it with this outfit. It's not me. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's me. Yeah, it happens.
How far did you get on the 5 languages?
I've got up to chapter 4 and I realized that my
Give up.
life sucks.
I'm talking about the book called 5 Different Love Languages or something. And it was kind of
Because
interesting. It
at
started
the
out
end of
shitty,
the
but
day, I am a piece of shit.
I don't
And
have any love language, or I don't give
I-
a shit about
don't-
hers.
I don't give a shit about nothing, apparently. All these years that I lied to myself. Oh yeah, no, I care. I was like, no, I really don't give a fuck. I
He's
was
just mad
saying
because
it.
he didn't finish the book and figure out his own love language.
No, I couldn't. Hey, I'm chasing pussy that I can't even figure this out. But
Oh my god.
God, we need an editor.
I know. We do. If anyone want to edit and like even if you want to be like a freelancer, so you could try and
That was
practice.
horrible. What I was just saying. I was like, this definitely not going to nobody. Because I just said I can't even take back right now.
Okay, we'll skip the subject. All right, so we'll go to Joe Budden. Oh shit. All right, so if you guys haven't known, the Joe Budden podcast is not over, but it's not the same.
It's definitely not the same.
Rory and Maul quit or got fired, however we want to look at it. And they came out with both their sides of the story. Joe Budden's gotten those sexual things from the other podcast.
That's the Olivia, or I think that's her name, Olivia.
Yeah,
I know it started with an O from See This Thing Is.
yeah, podcast.
Yeah,
that was under his network.
I started listening to that yesterday. I'm still working on it because the podcast came out today from the show and they addressed some of the things. So
Yeah,
haven't got to it. And tomorrow's the Joe Budden podcast. So I'm pretty sure he's going to address shit.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, it would be the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those where it's a very, it's an emotional thing. It's because you gotta understand certain angles of the argument to really get into the shits if you want to get into it.
Yeah.
Like, Joe is 100% right. Yeah, it's his name. It's his name. They signed a contract. It's under his name. And as a fan, I will say I've heard him multiple times go to Maul, a few times to Rory, that I can remember. But saying like, yo, Maul, like you the flyest nigga here, dressing like people would love to see a show with you dressed like dressing up type shit.
Yeah.
I never took it as anything. I just took it as
he's just telling
friends
him
bullshitting, you know,
Yeah.
like because that's what we do. Even though we do different shit, but we talk about like you know what our strengths and weaknesses are,
Yeah.
and that's what they do. Like I legit took it as friendship. So when he got into his like, because there's really not a lot of more shit that he said, because he really don't shit on Maul as much. Like even though they brought up the homeless
Yeah.
raw like Maul storyline, which was like, come on, that's stupid. Like
What would
not
you say?
everybody knows where their man's fucking comes from. Like, yo, that's my man. That's my man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day. But fucking Rory, fucking that nigga, I already knew, like, and I don't mean that in that way, but you know, I knew he was an outsider in the aspect of a person who was coming in late to the Joe Budden world. Why? Because one, he's younger than me. I'm 34, he's 30. So pump it up and all that shit. He was younger than me. We were accepting it.
Yeah.
He just, you know, he played his cards right. I'm not trying to shit on him because I fuck what he does. But he played his cards right. He fought for a certain position, and he got himself in an area where he worked with Nahu Kid, Shaw Money, niggas like that.
Mhm.
So he fucked with real motherfuckers in New York. You know,
Yeah, he
did-
worked his way up,
Yeah, he worked his way.
but he was still a nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he did. You know, he did his Duce Perusa in a couple of years with him being in the Joe Budden shit. But the guy worked. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they all worked to get themselves to an area.
yeah,
Like they were all comfortable. So we bring up this whole auditing accounting shit. This is the shit that is like it's stupid because it doesn't make sense because it's basically the simple aspect of what Moore said on their podcast.
yeah,
My nigga, it's percentages.
yeah,
And this is why like anybody who's one-sided on any of this is
yeah,
stupid.
yeah,
It's all about percentage. Like, yo, my God, like you get 100% of one thing and then you divide it through 3. You literally divide it to 3.
yeah,
And then you break it down to Scream Man, maybe Savon. You break it down to the extras backstage,
yeah,
but you do it in a certain percent wise.
yes,
You don't give them the 50, 25%, break that you do the top 3 are supposed to get the big checks.
yes,
We get the big checks. Then we break it down to the next and we break it into a 5%. So you're going to get paid goods. You might get 100,000,
yeah,
but I'm taking 1,300. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those type of breaks where it's not, we're not raping you, but you're not that you're essential, but you're essential.
yeah.
It's a weird business. It's just the way business works. It sucks to say, but it's the way business works.
It does,
You
but
can't give everybody what they deserve. And
see,
I understand that.
See, I think that, in my opinion, I do agree with that.
Mhm.
If you are one-sided on this,
Yeah.
you're dumb. But I feel like there's certain aspects of what Joe Budden did is correct and that were fucked up. And then at the same time,
All right.
Roy and Maul is kind of like, I think they showed something. I seen something today where they were saying how like Charlemagne was right. Like they did an old interview,
they
how
did,
he actually predicted what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, Charlemain did, and it's how Charlemagne does anyways because
He's a I don't
produces
like him.
controversy.
Yeah, I don't. But everything he predicted was right.
No,
that happened.
but he pulled a string like, but
Oh, yeah.
Peter Rosenberg, who worked with Budden starting the podcast,
Yeah,
had his issues. Obviously, Ebro has his natural beef with him since, and you could tell from everything. But the thing is like, you know how he works, and it's 100% true. And when you hear their story and you hear what they say,
mm-hmm.
it's like, oh shit, like yeah, I could see it happening. He got mad because they called him out on some shit. Once he gets mad, he's an emotional person. He was already trying to cut ties. He didn't care. He did not care.
But see, I think this is where it goes wrong because, and I want to ask you this because you listened to the show more than I did, but it's kind of like it seemed, and maybe it's just from what I seen, that he shitted on Rory a lot. But again, I don't know Robert.
He did,
but
like he did in that episode. And the thing is, like,
not just that episode. I'm just saying from what I seen.
Okay.
And then it was just kind of like, from what they explained, there's where I say like he fucked up. Like I think that on the business side, I'm not gonna say he's 100% right because he did kind of break it down. Like, listen, we gotta pay these people and these people and these people, which is 100% understandable. But again, I don't know where it started because I think it wasn't Joe Budden podcast. It was the No Name podcast or something like that.
No, it started off as I'll name this podcast later.
Okay.
But the thing was, it was Joe Budden as kind of a main creator with Rosenberg and what the fuck's her first name? Can't remember her name.
But Joe Budden's the name. But what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is Joe Budden's the name. So
Mm.
it's kind of like really that this is where I get again with both sides. It's kind of like because I don't know how it started. So you're saying it started with different people, whatever. Then it
like,
gradually
it wasn't something that was a solidified thing.
Yeah,
But that's because podcasts at that time
was new.
weren't, they weren't something that was like, yo, I wake up in the morning and I listen to my podcast. Like, no, you still woke up in the morning and you listen to Hot 97,
Yeah.
105.1, or whatever you put on yourself choosably.
Okay.
And that was it.
So
Yeah.
So they grew into what became those three being the main characters, which I understand, which is good because in my head I was just like, all right. So they kind of built up to what this quote unquote empire is. But it's just like at the end of the day, in my opinion, it was just like it's called the Joe Budden podcast, but not just that. Joe Budden's the name. Nobody knows who the other two are. No disrespect to them.
But nobody know who
But-
they are, but they, in that aspect of building,
Yeah,
you have to understand, like,
they were really.
they were nowhere when they went to Spotify. Like, when I officially got Spotify, and I'll use myself as a staple point for it. Like, I got Spotify officially when they officially became under Spotify,
Okay.
because of the fact that I was just like, oh, now I have to pay to do this shit. Like, and I'm an old head that I still to this day be like, no, I could find the DLC. I will download the content
Mm-hmm.
and have whatever album, whatever music I need. Like, I was on that old head vibe. I didn't fuck with, streaming like that. And becoming a fan of that show, I was just like, nah, like, fuck. Now I have to buy Spotify. I don't even know how Spotify fucking works. I never used Spotify.
Yeah.
I just want it because I wanted to listen to this, and then I learned from there. And that's now I fell into the area of now I'm like, you're normals, where we fucking use Spotify or Apple or whatever is your streaming shit. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it worked. Like, podcasts at the end of the day, like, we could say, oh, it's the most popular, but what honestly has only been a legit 5 to 6 years
Yeah.
where you could say, like, this is lucrative money and this is success.
Success, yeah.
Yes.
But
Like,
I do
that's that.
agree
Mm.
on another Joe Budden point was that when he was saying like, yo, like you're talking about Maul like dressing up and Rory could do his own thing
Mm.
too. I don't like I feel like when he said that, I totally understand that because I was just like, yo, because I listened to Bonfire, Legion of Skanks, all
no,
the
but
stuff.
everybody does their own shit.
Everyone does
yeah.
their own shit, but they also do this. So that's why I'm saying, like, with us, we could do that shit too. Whereas it's like we could branch out, but then come back. We could always do this. Whereas not like, oh, since you're doing your thing and I'm doing my thing, now we can't do this to get like that's bullshit. I was like, no, we could always do this, but branch out and do other things. Cause like the way I feel about it in our aspect
Mhm.
would be like I keep saying like the relationship podcast. I know you don't really want to do it that much.
Mhm.
So I would never do something that you wouldn't want to do. But at the same time, it's like the same thing, like say you want to do a sports podcast, I have nothing to say. But what if I were to be like, no, you can't do it. You got to stay here. Like we got to do that. That's bullshit. Like, no, we could still do this, but you could still do that. But even in that aspect, when you think about it, it grows the whole thing. Whereas it's kind of like, I'll get my fans over here, you'll get your fans over here. But then when we come together, we get both of our fans coming together here. So in going to Joe Budden, it's kind of like, I feel like Joe Budden's trying to cheat them, but I agree with him on that aspect where it's just like, well, if you're not gonna fucking do anything, then and you're relying on me now. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're relying on me to do everything for you. Whereas it's like branch out, do your own shit. We could come back here and do this and we could have fun. But now you're making your own money doing this.
Which is true.
And then we could come back here and make more money doing this. And it's like, but
I agree, but at the same time,
Joe Budden's an asshole for how he said it.
he didn't do it in the right way.
Yeah, he did not. He did not do it in the right way.
He was making right points, and he was making logical aspects that made sense. Everything the way he did it was completely Virgo-ish. We're assholes.
I'm not an asshole.
You're questioning me? Like, God forbid you like this nigga don't even know. Question me as I'm a liar. I'm flipping shit over. Like,
he's a liar. I'm not a bad Virgo. I'm one of those nice.
We are very
Virgos.
Virgos are very emotional. If you haven't seen, our sign is a female.
Yeah, but on my fucking.
I don't have anything here. I thought he was gonna double click and it would pull up the bitch.
Oh, imagine like this is Virgo. God damn it.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be real. We're very emotional. There's certain niggas that would admit it, certain niggas that won't. I know we're emotional creatures.
He's a bitch. I'm not emotional at all.
Not in the girl aspect, you fucking loser. But we base off emotion. We get our strength off of the fucking emotion and the moon and all of this shit. Yeah.
Strength or weakness.
So I forgot where I was going because the nigga keeps throwing me off.
You're talking about Joe Budden and he's a Virgo and the way he said it wrong.
But basically, he said it wrong in the aspect of like you could tell, and it's like I could tell because I do the same shit where you talk and you're speaking about shit, and then you get to a certain thing, and it's like you'll say it, and it's like that's one of the things that fucking annoyed you the most, and you say it with a lot of anger. So he called fucking Rory a peasant or whatever. Like, if you ever argue with a nigga like us, we are fucking very asshole-ish in wordplay. Yeah. So you turn around and you say that, you're fucking petty, like you're nothing to me type shit. Like, but that was him being emotional, like not him turning around.
But that's not okay.
No, I get it, but it's better than a lot of people. They would turn around and be like, "Oh, like it would say like Rory's racist or something."
Yeah.
So all of that. All right, you know what? Let's get to the real shit because I just thought about it. This is the funniest shit out of all of it. So shit.
And there you go. Broke. Yeah. We need money. Need a new stand.
You need a whole fucking camera crew here for me.
We need editors, camera crews. We need everything.
So he goes through his whole shit. Fuck the whole show shit. Let's get to the real nitty gritty. Do you feel like he's gonna get canceled?
Oh, Joe Budden? No.
Even with the whole shit that happened with the other girl show? Yeah.
No, you know why? Because I listened to her shit and they replayed what she was saying. Like she was actually going minute by minute. Like, if you go 28 minutes in and then this part was edited out and da-da-da. And it was just kind of like, I like to, because listening to a lot of comedians, context means everything. So you're on a podcast with 3 other women, and he's the one guy that's there that's on camera. The other people, I don't know who's off camera. I don't know. But he made a couple of, couple of things, but it's kind of like, this is where I get like, I want to talk to women, where it's kind of like, okay, he might be coming off, I'll say a little like, I'm trying to think in an aspect. Okay, he's your boss. That's one thing. Like, okay, maybe he was wrong for saying anything like you can't tell an employee like, damn, I want to like you're sexy or you like that's bad. Okay,
Mhm.
I give you that. But at the same time, it was just like it's her podcast or one of those three girls, all of them together. I don't know how the podcast works, but it's their podcast. They're filming and she's a grown adult. And this is what I don't like, that women play the victim shit, where it's just like you're a grown ass adult. You're not, that wasn't a situation to me that it was just like, oh my God, I felt like he was going to take advantage. It was like you had a room full of motherfuckers there recording everything. You could have came out your mouth because it is your podcast to be like, yo, that's really fucking
Nah, she
uncomfortable. Like,
coulda,
I don't
but
like that.
it
And
just
she
didn't
could have been
happen,
scared
yeah.
because that's her boss. That's
Yeah.
one. I understand that. But the victim card, I don't like when it's kind of like you're a grown ass woman. So what do you want? Everyone to hold your hand at every point in your life when a guy hits on you?
Basically.
And that's the thing that I don't like from what I saw. Where it's like, okay, she did say at the very end, oh, that's uncomfortable, but she was smiling, she was laughing, and she calls it like an awkward, nervous laugh.
Mhm.
And her female co-hosts were like, because I think one point he asked for a hug at the end,
Yeah,
and
he
they were
did
just
like
the female
hug,
co-hosts.
like hump thing, yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't even show that on camera. She's like, oh, they cut that out too. Like you couldn't see his body like driving or anything.
Mm.
And the other girls were laughing. And so it was kind of like you can't sit here, to me, in my honest opinion, you're only coming out now after he's going through some shit.
Which is the
And
wrong
then
aspect to do it, yeah.
you had all that time on your own podcast, or you could just could have came out on video. Nigga, everyone could take up a cell phone that has a camera on it and say, yo, I feel uncomfortable. I'm done with the podcast.
But that's
And
the
say your
issue
story.
of now. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
issue of now.
So I felt like she's just playing her card now. And I think that from what I was hearing, that a lot of people are on Joe Budden's side, because whether it's edited out or the shit that she was saying, like, oh, he said, fuck you.
Mhm.
And better. So it was just kind of like, okay, say Joe Budden's wrong because he is the boss in essentially hitting on an employee female. Okay, that's uncomfortable. We get past, like, if you don't want to get past that, you had every opportunity in that moment and after to come out and say, you know what, I felt really fucking uncomfortable because you're an adult woman. And we'll go back to what we were talking about earlier, I think, before we recorded, where it's like a lot of women want to come out and be like, I'm this and I'm independent and strong, but then you play victim as soon as you want. Like, to me, that's just like, you can't do both. You can't be Miss Independent and I'm strong and I don't need a man and I don't need this. Damn, girl, you look sexy. Oh my God, you're a fucking sexist. I felt so like, you can't play victim and play Miss Alpha. So I don't know. I'm not speaking on her. I don't know if she ever played Miss Alpha, but I'm just saying in that aspect, I don't think he would ever be. I think the only thing, I think he would rebrand himself. Maybe it would be called Joe Budden podcast, but he was gonna have new people, or
Nah, he's
maybe
definitely gonna
his
have new
whole
people,
network
yeah.
shuts down and he has to start anew. But he'll still continue doing podcasts without being
I don't know.
shut down.
It depends on what happens, well, tonight, tomorrow, whatever. However you look at it. Like, that's when we'll know, because that's more or less, I'm guessing he's going to address whatever was said.
Yeah, I think his lawyer or something came out on social media, did the apology, and then and all that shit. But I don't know. It's a weird world. I'm talking about that shit. The Legion of Skanks had this guy on, a comedian that they do like this comedian that got recently in trouble, like in the last day or two. His whole podcast is about getting an arena filled of people, having like a panel of people, having no name comedians come up, try their jokes, and then they roast them. You know what I'm saying? Like they just roast them, but again, in a polite, not in a polite way. It's not really polite, but you're roasting somebody. But they give these people an opportunity to come up on stage, tell their jokes for like 5 minutes or something. Then they roast them, and then the guys could come back at the judges, whatever, roast them back or whatever. And then some people got better off from it because they were quick and they were witty. And So there's the main guy who leads that fucking just got in trouble because an opener was Asian, and I guess his whole thing was doing Asian, like stop Asian hate comedy, which I don't know how funny that is. And his immediate thing was just like, oh my God, you guys fell for this. So they taped a little bit of it, which was a joke, saying, oh my God, you guys are pandering, fuck this chink kite, but in a nice way. Like this guy opened for him before, so he knows him. And then now he's in trouble for saying chink, and then the guy went on TMZ saying like I felt offended.
Obviously, you can't say that.
And then it was just like, yo, this motherfucker just moved to Texas, to get his whole career set up because apparently California sucks now.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, now he's canceled. His agents left him and all that. He's a comedian. He makes jokes for a living. What's funny is what's not PC. You know what I'm saying? PC isn't funny, you know?
Nah,
but
definitely not.
That's, you know, similar. Like, that's why I'm saying I don't think Joe Budden's going to actually get cancel. I think the apologies and Rory and Maul going to do their own thing anyway. And then this female's going to do her own thing anyway. So
everybody's going to do their own shit.
Yeah.
It's just all a build up for everything.
Yeah. And if it's not called the Joe Budden podcast or the network that he had, he'll probably just do his own podcast with the same, or he might just have random motherfuckers come in every once in a while.
Could be
So
that.
I don't think he'll be canceled for a long
Basically.
time. It's just sad, this fucking weird world.
Everybody's fucking in their emotions.
Yeah.
Welcome to the summer. 2021 is going to be interesting.
No, it's going to be good. Fuck that. I'm in positive vibe mode. Fuck that shit.
No, it's going to be good. Just hopefully you don't die.
Wow. I guess. I'm in positive vibe, but yeah, it's going to be good. Just don't die, nigga. Something's coming up. I can feel it.
Don't die. It's coming. It's coming for them happy people. Guarantee you that.
It's coming for the happy people. Like, oh, you happy? Oh, come.
Y'all think everything's safe out here. We stupid. I'm gonna be home. No mask on. Like, oh, it came. There it is.
there it is. The new virus disease is spread across the world again. That's gonna be interesting.
No time for that shit. But good luck out there. Have fun. See you Friday.
Yeah, so we're gonna cut this off. So like, follow, subscribe, Sight Beyond Sight, YouTube, let's go, Facebook. We would say Twitter, but I think we're both off it right now.
So it's crazy out there.
Like,
worse than Chicago.
all that.
God, I almost fell over.
Peace.